Before I start my speech, I'll try to give you a short moment for you to research on me. Please don't count this for the timing.
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Johan, and I'm from Canada, and I'm married, and I'm a researcher. So I'm going to jump into my speech directly. I'm doing my research on urogenital malignancy, especially invasive prostate cancer and kidney cancer. When I meet some people, mostly they always ask me this type of question. Have you ever expected to do research for your career? I say, no, not at all. I haven't expected to do research. However, if I remind my childhood, especially between age 4 and 6, I think I already had some trait for being a researcher. I'm gonna start my speech with a small, short anecdote. I had a trip with my mom and dad by taking bus. In Korea, there's some rest areas always having some snack bars, restaurant, of course, restaurant too, for people who really want to do their business. And I just passed one snack bar where they made dumpling. Usually people make dumpling for like steaming and grilling. And I found out one guy cooked dumplings on a steel tray, and nothing came up from there. And I was so curious. That's my trait. I'm always being curious for anything. So when my mom and dad turned their face away, I stepped on and asked that person who made dumpling on the tray, and sir, how can you? Guess what? I put my hands on the tray. Yes. My curiosity went really bad. Of course, my hands are totally fine right now, but I cried a lot and my mom and dad were freaked out so much. As you heard me, I'm a very curious person, and I have been doing research to quench my curiosity. However, I didn't know until 2014 I would be very interested in a great speaker. When I did my graduate study for master's, I've met a lot of great graduate students who could shine their work by using a lot of vocabularies and a lot of great idioms, and I was so fascinated, I was so shocked, because even though some of their works were not great that much, but they advert their works so well. Of course, I became really jealous, and I thought, can I be like them? Can I be like them? I didn't know, but in my mind, deep inside of my mind, I said yes. So I started my research to become a great speaker. But I'm a Korean descent and English as my second language. I was very introvert person because I didn't want to make any mistake even during my daily conversation. So when I start confabulated, sometimes I went totally blank, and I was very, very afraid of making those situations again. Of course, I struggled a lot before I finished my master's. However, fortunately, in 2014, when I finished my master's, when I started my PhD, I was suggested to join my first Toastmaster club in Canada. And I went to the Toastmaster club 7:15 a.m. It was so hard for me to wake up early and join the club. But I still had those overwhelming fear coming when I went before the lectern. And I struggled a lot, yes. So I kept thinking, how can I overcome this fear and become a great communicator? I watched a lot of YouTube video to learn previous Toastmasters speeches, try to learn their strategy, tactics, and how can they efficiently and interestingly deliver their message. Also, I read a lot, I wrote a lot. My research to become a great communicator finally ended up with a big success, unpredicted success. I submitted my abstract for one scientific conference in Toronto in 2016. And I didn't expect my abstract to be selected as a podium presentation. And I prepared a lot. Over months, I wrote I wrote the script over and over and practiced every single moment. When I went to the lectern and I would just try to see all the audiences, finally, I met the greatest joyness, and I really enjoyed the moment when I just tried to make eye contact with every single audience, and also deliver a message perfectly. But I guess I enjoyed the moment really. So that was my experience on research to become a great communicator. Here, I joined the Chamber Toastmaster again. I already met a lot of great people, and I'm excited to continue my journey to be a great communicator and great leader in my clinical science field. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.